Carter, my man! Took you forever to get here. Don't ask. Traffic in the city moves slower than molasses. Whenever Carter would travel to the city, he would always lodge at his best bud, Brad's house. But this summer, things were a little different. So this is your BFF. Carter, this is Miley, my girlfriend. Girlfriend? He ever told you he was the geekiest geek back in high school? And look at you now. This summer, it wasn't just Carter and his buddy anymore. There was a third wheel. Or rather, Carter was the third wheel. But by first impressions, Carter couldn't seem to like Miley. She was everything Carter stayed away from. Miley was a pet lover, and now the once silent, relaxing house was infested with 3 cats. You should have told me you had company. I could have arranged another place to stay. Why, what's wrong? You don't like her? The guest room is still unoccupied. No, it's not about liking her or not. It's just, I wasn't expecting someone else. And definitely wasn't expecting all these cats. Where did all these cats come from? She's a nice girl. You'll like her once you get to know her. And these are all Miley's cats. Luna and Percy. There's only 2? I thought I saw another one. Miley had brought the cats over from her apartment when she moved in. Carter only awkwardly smiled and watched the cats roam around the house. He suddenly felt like an outsider and feared offending Brad's girlfriend to tell him about his grudge against cats. Although it wasn't anything illogical, Carter was just a little allergic to cats, and apart from that, he basically hated them. They gave him the creeps. And Miley's cats never stayed put. They were all over the house, the front yard, the backyard. Especially the gray one that was always in Carter's way. Sleeping on the couch, on the bench, in the patio, or the garden. Get out of here, you pest. Fortunately, Brad caught on to Carter's frustration and had all the cats shifted to the backyard. Nature, however, wasn't in support of Carter. It started raining heavily the next morning, and the cats had been meowing since dawn. Brad, can't we just bring in the cats till the rain stops? Carter is our guest, Miley. He's only going to be here a couple days. We should make him comfortable. Besides, your cats are fine in the pet house. Although the cats had been moved out, everything about their very existence still lingered in the house. Miley redecorated everything to suit her cat's needs. Even the guest room where Carter always stayed smelled like lavender. The carpets were fluffy and stringy, and the bright colors were a pain to the eye. The visit was turning out to be horrible. And soon enough, Carter fell sick. He started to sneeze, wheeze, and cough, and finally Carter was in bed with a fever practically bound to his room. What was unexpected was how Miley was caring for him while Brad would be away. Don't worry, you'll be better in no time. I made this soup with my own hands. I hope you like it. Or do you have an unusual resentment towards soup like you do with my cats? Funny, you see my condition and question my resentment to cats. No, I can see it in your eyes. Your hatred towards them is uncanny. Why? Uncanny is the word to describe cats themselves. They're nothing but evil. Aren't cats a sign of bad luck? I don't believe in bad luck. For all I know, this can be a curse. I've seen how you behave around my cats. Have you not heard that cats are living urns for the human soul of a diseased, tortured one? What may seem like a cat in your eyes may be someone searching for a new beginning and a different end. Carter was shocked to see how serious Miley had become. Whatever it is, you keep that gray cat away from me. Miley laughed. What are you talking about? I don't even have a gray cat. Gray, black, or white, keep them all away from me. Miley and Carter spoke for a while. She let Carter be. Carter could sense she wasn't too happy with him in the house. It was around 10 that Carter fell asleep. In the middle of the night, he woke up to stressful fever sweats. He restlessly stayed in bed, trying to sleep. When he started to hear a scratching, tapping noise outside the window, Carter remembered he had kept it open to allow some air. To his shock, he saw a cat sitting on the windowsill staring at Carter with the most mesmerizing eyes he had ever seen. Carter quickly pulled out of bed and shooed the cat out the window and locked it shut. You annoying, hideous creature. The next day, when Carter woke up, he felt worse than the day before. He remembered the cat that had entered his room. When Miley arrived that morning, Carter was ready to give her a piece of his mind. Can't you keep your pets in control? My life has become miserable in a blink of an eye because of them, and you don't believe in bad luck. Had I not mentioned to you already, you have brought a curse on yourself? They will leave you with no choice or maybe no will to even make a choice. You know what they say, don't you? If you hurt the souls trapped within the cats, they come to take your own by night, leaping into your chest, sucking out your soul. Miley looked intensely into Carter's eyes before she let out a smirk. Carter looked at her bewildered. That was a joke, right? Are you okay? Sometimes, what's false is easier to accept than what is the truth. Carter shook his head in disbelief. When he had the hot soup Miley had brought him, he felt a little better. But soon after, his condition started to worsen. He called in Brad to have a talk with him. Brad, I've probably become a burden for you. I didn't expect to fall ill like this. What are you talking about, Carter? Don't worry about a single thing. I've told Miley to look after you. That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. Miley seems to be quite upset with me lately because of her cat. I've had to stay out. She's been telling me some unusually creepy things, probably trying to scare me away. I don't blame anyone, but she's young and probably naive. You don't think she tried anything crazy? No, you're misunderstanding her. She can be a little expressive about her anger. Actually, that's how we met. She has a strange attachment to our cats. People are often scared of her, and she's just humorous to scare people with crazy superstitions about cats that people often tend to believe. So it also works. She doesn't mean any of it. Don't mind her. Oh, perhaps I'm taking things a bit too seriously then. That night, Carter felt a little guilty of alleging Miley of something wicked. He couldn't help the strong instincts he got whenever she spoke of her cats. Whenever he ate the food she prepared, his condition only got worse. Carter had been awake for long hours of the night, when suddenly, he flinched to the meow of a cat. He looked by his windowsill and saw the same cat sitting there. There was something about the cat that Carter couldn't take his eyes off of. The way its eyes were unblinking, it gave Carter the shivers. It jumped down and circled around him. Carter suddenly felt frozen. He wanted to move, but he couldn't. As he lay still in bed, the cat climbed the bed and walked towards him, coming closer and closer, staring into his eyes. Carter felt his chest constrict. His breathing ran out. He felt as if he were dying. He wanted to scream, seeing the cat's eyes glowing green as his life was being drained from him. The next morning, Carter woke up anxious. He looked around. The window was strangely locked. Had it all been a dream? Carter looked into the mirror. He noticed scratches on the side of his neck. This can't be a coincidence. That girl said she didn't have a gray cat. I was right. She's been planning this. When Miley came to serve Carter, he immediately pointed her out. You think it's funny? You've been intentionally sending your cats to me every night. So they've been visiting you. They harm some and they give some. Maybe you just need to change your mind about them. I've had enough of your nonsense. This is the last time I'm warning you, keep your cats away from me. Carter was fed up from being sick in bed for nearly a week now. He was fed up of the cats. He knew he had to be harsh with Miley. The next night, Carter stayed awake looking out the window. But to his surprise, the cat didn't appear when it usually did. Perhaps the talk with Miley worked after all. Carter finally went to sleep. But within a few hours he woke up. It was dawn. The skies were red out. The cat sitting on the windowsill staring at him. As soon as Carter heard its meow, he had just enough. Carter grabbed his knife and opened the window. The cat jumped off the sill, but this time Carter chased after it. It ran into an alley beside the house where Carter caught hold of it. Today, Miley will learn a lesson she needed to learn a long time ago. When Carter returned home, He dropped into his bed feeling extremely unwell and soon fell asleep. Carter was feeling better after his nap. It was moments before he heard Brad's car in the driveway. He was home from work. He heard his friend unlock the door and come inside. Carter prepared to meet him. When suddenly, the door of his room burst open. Brad looked horrified. Sweat trickled from his head. His eyes were opened wide in anguish. What happened? It's Miley. Someone broke in. Carter was horrified to see Miley's lifeless body laying in her room. A wet trail led out the window from her remains. Carter ran out and followed the trail. It led to the alleyway where Carter had been earlier this morning. The cat was no longer there. Carter looked at the paw prints on the ground, leading back to Miley. How can this be? I didn't take her life. I didn't do this. I only got rid of the cat. Carter was devastated. He couldn't believe what he was looking at until he heard her voice behind him. What was the point of taking my life? Have you not heard? I have 9.